All right, so today's class we will learn how to use Google Forms, okay, and create your customized forms and send it to your friends or family members or your customers or anybody you want to send it to get a response. So basically, you can create an invitation and contact information. You can create um, a survey for your product or services from your potential customers and send it to them, and then once they respond, you'll be able to understand what they're thinking about. All right, so this is the URL docs.google.com/forms. Okay, so this is the URL where you have to go and you have to enter. So let me do it right now. Okay, there you go. So here, if you can see, we have start a new form. Okay, so these are all templates which have been designed by Google already, like party invite, course evaluation, contact information, RSVP, right? If you see here, we have something called template gallery. When I click on it, I get personal. These are all personal templates, t-shirt sign up, event registration. Now, if we scroll down, we have work, event feedback, order form, job application, time request, time of request, work request, customer feedback, educational, exec ticket, assessment, worksheet, course evaluation. So these are all basic that Google has already created for you. Now what we can do, we can build on it and we can customize it according to our own need. So let us first, for example, we want to create a blank one. Okay, so I can click on blank one and I can put any option that I want here. Okay, any form. All right, to make things easier, let us choose something like a personal. I'll choose contact information. Okay, a very simple form. When I click on it, it loads. It'll load the contact information template. Okay, now I will write here. Okay, contact information for digital marketing group. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a group. Okay, now this is a description section where I can put a description. So you have to put a description. This is a form for contact information for a digital marketing group. Okay, and here I want people to give their names. Okay, I want full name. Okay, so here it's saying name and then by default the option is short answer. So I can click on this drop down and I can choose here paragraph, multiple choices, check down, drop down, check boxes, drop down, file upload, linear scale, multiple choice, date and time, right? So I will choose paragraph. Okay, long answer. So name. Okay, and here there are two options. I can duplicate it, I can delete it. Okay, when I duplicate it, this particular question, okay, this one question, it gets duplicated. Okay, this particular section will get duplicated. Okay, and it will come at the bottom here. If I don't want that, and I can delete it, the moment I click on required, there will be a small red dot here, which means whoever you're sending the form to, they will have to fill that information. Otherwise, they'll not be able to save and send. Okay, so if for example, if you're sending a form, you need certain information which is mandatory, right? So like the name or maybe a phone number or maybe an email address, whatever it is, whatever is important for you, you can mention that and say it's required, so that others can know it is a required information for them to fill the form, right? There are three dots here. I can click on it and I can say description and response validation. Okay, now what is response validation? Just imagine somebody puts the name John Smith. Okay, now instead of putting John Smith, They just write John, and instead of writing Smith, the last name, they write SM. Okay, so here I can mention, please, I can mention the length of what should be the long answer. What is a minimum? Okay, so let's say I want minimum 10 characters. Custom error text, which means if they put just 9 characters instead of 10 characters, the form will give them an error message. So I'll say please enter full name. Okay, please enter your full name. The moment I hear the option, please enter the moment I see the option, please enter the full name, then the person who's filling it, just imagine I'm filling it and I got please enter full name, so I'll know, okay, I have to enter full name. Okay, let me say minimum is 3. Okay, or minimum is 2. All right. Okay, now this is valid response. So now whoever gets this form, they'll have to mention their full name and they have to put minimum 2 characters. Okay, for example, if somebody's name is Joe, that's JO, right? But if they just put J instead of JO, what will happen? It will give an error message saying please enter your full name. Okay, automatically, right? Because I have set it. Now you can set anything. You can set description also, response validation. Now here under length, if you don't want length as a parameter, you can put as regular expression. Okay, regular expression means it contains what, or it doesn't contain what. It matches or it doesn't match. For example, it contains a pattern. Okay, like say first name. Okay, and customer elements. So the best for me is this. I'll put regular because I know it's quite difficult to have a first name which minimum 2 characters. Please enter your full name. Okay, great. The next question the template already has is an email address, and there was a star, right? Just like a star here, and there's a star here, right? In email, I'll click on it, and then it says email. Now, the moment is star, which means it's mandatory. Okay. Now, here it says short answer. I can change it to long answer or paragraph. Okay, and then here response validation, minimum character or regular expression contains. So whichever same options, I'll say minimum character to please enter your valid email address or email ID. Okay. Okay. Now, whoever tries to put incorrect email address, it'll with just one A, B, C, D, whatever, it'll say please enter your valid email address. Okay. Address. Now, let's say I want them to fill up their address. Okay. So here it's already there, but let's say I don't want to make it required. Okay. So I'll just turn it off. So now what will happen is somebody doesn't put the address. That's also fine. They'll still be able to save it and send it to me. Okay. So this required button makes it mandatory or not mandatory. All right. Phone number. I want phone number. Okay. So I'll just say required. Short answer. And response validation. A number. Whole number. Okay. Including. Please include the country code. So India's country code is +91. Example, +91 for India. Okay. There you go. So my next question is also done. All right. Now, comments are not mandatory. It's not mandatory. If I want, I can put comments. Okay. Now, this form looks good to me. Okay, I'll click on responses. Now, there are three options here: questions, responses, and settings. If you send a form to anyone, you can see here under responses how many people have responded. Okay. Now, if you have created a form and you have sent it, and you wait for 24 hours. Okay. After 24 hours, you don't want to accept any more responses. You can turn it off. Okay. So they will get a message saying this form is no longer accepting responses. They'll get an option, error message like that. So they'll not be able to fill it. Okay. So you can specify people whom you're sending, saying that, you know what, this link is valid for only 24 hours. Please fill it within that. Otherwise, it will not. It will be turned off. So this is where you can choose that option. Now, zero responses because we haven't sent it to anyone. Link it to Sheets. Link it to Sheets means this form will be connected to Google Sheets. Right now, let's click on the three options and see what are the three dots and see what are the options. One of the options says get email notifications for your new responses. I'll click on it. It is email notification enabled, which means I'll get a notification on email whoever sends a response. Okay, whenever they send. Okay, select destination for responses. I'll click on it. So they're saying, okay, tell me the place where you want the responses to be. Okay, create a new spreadsheet. Contact information response. It has taken up the name. Okay, I'll say okay, create. Fair enough. Okay. And then it says unlink form. For example, if you don't want this form to be linked to any other website or spreadsheet, you can unlink it. Now, since we have already linked it to Google Sheet, we don't want to unlink it. Okay. Now, let's go to settings. Under settings, we have settings. Make this a quiz. Now, assign point values, set answers, and automatically provide feedback. Now, for example, if I turn this form into a quiz, what will happen? I can assign value. Okay. What kind of value? Which means each question I can assign 5 points. Okay. Or 10 points. So if they give the full answer, they get 10 points. If they don't, they get 0 points. I can assign that. Okay. So when to release the marks? Immediately after each submission. Okay. Now, missed question respondents can see which questions were answered incorrectly. Okay. Correct answers, respondents can see correct answers after grades are released. Point value, they can see the point value of each question. Now here it's asking what is the value that you want to give for each and every question. For example, each question I was telling you I'll give 10 points, right? So I'll just write here 10 points. Okay. So point value for every new question is 10 points. If I can put 1 also, that doesn't matter. Okay. Responses. Let's click on responses. Okay. Under responses, it says manage how responses are collected and protected, which means the first option is collect email address. Do you want someone who is responding to you, do you want their email address to be collected? So I'll say verified, which means they need the people whom you send, they have to verify their Google account to make sure that the email address is correctly mentioned. Okay. Send responders a copy of their response. So whenever people are responding to the form, do you want to send a copy of what they have sent? I don't want to do that. If you want, you can turn it on. Okay. When requested or always and off. I will keep it off because there's no point, because they themselves know what they're responding to. The third option is allow response editing. So for example, if somebody gives an answer, they want to edit it, do you want them to edit it? Yes, I want them to edit it. So yes, I can enable this. If I disable this, whatever they have typed in first and hit enter, they'll not be able to change the answer. Okay. For example, now in schools and colleges or in companies, if you're doing any assignment or if you're giving any assessment, at that time, if you want to change the answer and if you don't want to give that option to edit, you can disable this. So right now I will enable it, because I want my responders to edit the answer. Requires sign in. Okay, respondents will be required to sign in to Google. I want them to sign into Google and then do it. Otherwise, I'll not be able to capture the correct email address and correct account. Okay, it can be a spam as well, right? So that's why we have to verify. Okay, next, presentation. Manage how the form and responses are presented. So let me click down here, down arrow, and then there says form presentation. Show progress bar. Do you want to show progress bar? Yes, why not? Shuffle question orders. No, I don't want to shuffle question orders. Okay, after submission, so just imagine if somebody has, you have sent a form to someone and they have responded, okay, and they have submitted. After submission, what message do you want to give them? You can type in a message here. So by default it says thanks for submitting your contact info. Okay, so I would just like to keep it. If you want to change it, you can change it. You can type thank you for submitting and have a nice day, whatever. Okay, you can type whatever and then click on save. Show link to submit another response. Okay, no, I don't want to show link to submit another response because I'm only sending one form. Okay, view results summary. Share results summary with respondents important details. No, I don't want to share the result summary. Restriction. Disable autosave for all respondents. Okay, now for example, if somebody is typing something, the form should auto save it, so that, just imagine if somebody is typing something and the internet goes off, they would find it difficult to retype it again, right? So I will not disable autosave, I will keep it enabled. So I will turn it off. If I turn it on, it will disable autosave, so I don't want to do that. Next, it says defaults. What are form defaults? Let's click on the drop down. It says collect email address by default. Okay, responders input or verified. Now, what is the difference between responder input or verified or do not collect? Now, if I choose do not collect, this form will not collect their email address. Okay, that's one. Second option is verified. Verified means if I choose verified, respondents will be required to sign into Google. So when they open the form, it will ask them, please sign into Google. And when they automatically sign into Google, what will happen? The email address gets captured. Okay, and then we will get the email address and the name. If I choose responder input, responder will be able to put any email address, not only Google, but they can put any email address and they can do. Now the only worry is some people might give incorrect email address by mistake also, like it could be a typo error. Okay, and they might not realize it. So it's better to click verified. Okay, so that they get used to signing into Google. Okay, now Google is very famous and most of them use Gmail. So you will rarely find someone who's not using Gmail and using some other services like Yahoo or Reddit or AOL. Okay, so I would choose verified because most of my the people whom I'm going to send, they pretty much will be using Google. Okay, now question defaults. The next one, I'll click on the drop down. It says make questions required by default. If I select this, all the questions will be required. Earlier in the questions, there was an option for me to turn off and turn on the required, right? But here under settings, if I go to the last one and turn it on, all the questions will become required, which means it will become mandatory for people to respond. Otherwise, they'll not be able to save and send. Okay, great. So it has all changes saved in Drive. Okay, it has been saved automatically. My question is ready. My form is ready. Everything looks good. Let's check here. Yep, everything looks good. Okay. Now all I have to do is click on send. Now here are some options. Customize theme. Okay, so let's say I want to customize the theme. Okay, if you want, you can put an image as well as a header image. So this is called a header image. Header means head of something. So this is header. Footer means foot of something, and then, like for example, footer will be at the bottom here. Okay, header is here. So in form, header is this banner. Okay, this image. If I don't want this green one, I can change it and I can choose any other image. I can click on it and I can upload. I will not do that right now because I'm okay with this. Now I don't want green color. I want orange line, orange theme. So let me just change it, or blue. Yeah, I'll keep it blue. Okay. Let me just go down. Here I can choose the shade. Okay. Here I can choose the size of the header. I can choose the size of the question. I can choose the size of the text. Okay, so text is also 12 now. Right? Done. Let me see how the form looks like. So I can click on preview, and this is exactly what my form looks like. Okay. This is how people will see the form. Contact information for digital marketing group. This form, this is the form. There's a typo error. I'll remove it. I'll change it. Okay. And these are the questions. Okay. I'll close this preview. This is the form for contact information for a digital marketing group. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Now this is undo button and this is redo. If in case you want to go back and undo it, whatever you've typed, I can click on this. It'll go back. If I want to, by mistake, I've deleted something, I want to redo it, I can click on redo, it will come back. Okay. So I've not deleted anything, or I don't want to redo. So I'll just leave it like that. So there are 3 dots here. Make a copy, move to bin, get pre-filled link, print, add collaborators, script editor, get add-ons. Okay. These are Google options. So make a copy is self-explanatory. It says make a copy of this form. Move to bin, you delete this form and it will go to recycle bin. Get pre-filled link. You can get a pre-filled URL, okay, of this particular form. You can print this form by using print. You can add collaborators, which means you can invite others to become a collaborator, add more questions. Just like, for example, I want other people as well to come and ask me what type of questions it should be, right? So I can add someone else and they can also add a couple of questions. Okay. Script editor, I can embed the script, the HTML script in my website or a blog. Okay. And get add-ons. I can click on get add-ons and I can get add-ons as Chrome extensions or workspace add-ons. So these are the add-ons which are available. Okay. Like form notifications. There are so many, right? Most of them are free, some of them are paid or freemium model. So just take a look and just go through it if you want to even make it better. Okay. I don't want to use it now, so I'll just leave it like that. And then keyboard shortcuts. So I don't want to use keyboard shortcuts. So I want to send it to someone. Whom to send? I'll click on send. Now if the first thing it says collect email addresses, right? It says verified, which means I have to log in to Google to fill this form. Okay. So here is the email address, right? So all I have to do is, let's say I'm going to send it to myself. All right. So I put the email address, subject is automatically filled and message is automatically filled. I've invited you to fill in a form. Okay. Include form in the email. So whenever they get the email, they'll get their form. Okay. And then I click on send. That's all. That's it. So now when I open my email, okay, I will get the the notification. All right. So let me open the email here. I'll quickly show you how it might look like. There you go. It says contact information for digital marketing group. Okay. So here it is. It says contact information for digital marketing group. This was the name of the form, right? Now it has become the email subject line, and here it says Google form. Fill in user Google form, and this is the form which is there, right? Now all are mandatory. I can just type here Kartys courses, Kartys courses at gmail.com. Address I'll say India. Phone number 700569680. Okay, great form. Okay, review and submit. You are then the moment I click on review and submit, it says you are submitting information to an external page. Are you sure? I'll click OK. Okay, here pop-up is blocked. I can enable the pop-up. Allow. There you go. Okay, now this is a form. It says email. Record this as the email to be included in my response. Yes, I have to click it because it's an asterisk sign, otherwise I'll not be able to. The red one, it says indicates required questions, which means it's a required question. Please enter your full name, Kartys course. Okay, email address. Okay, great form. Submit. Okay, it's saying, okay, I'll say John Smith. Okay, so here in the previous form I've selected a long answer, right? And it's required, so I'll turn it off. Okay, and then it's saved. So let me refresh it. Now see, the moment I refreshed it, the name is no more required. Okay, so I can put any name that I want. John Smith. Alright, I'll just scroll down. Email address, I says, okay, Kartys courses. Address India. The phone number 7009680. Great form. Okay, everything filled in properly. Submit. The moment I submit, what happens? The same message came. Thank you for submitting your contact info. Okay, group information for digital marketing group. Okay, contact information. Now click on view score. Okay, so here I've got 0 out of 0. Okay, why? Because the settings that we have put is, we have just changed the settings, right? So I can do here, I can go and turn off the points. Okay, there you go. If I turn off this option which says make it a quiz, they will not be getting any points. Okay, so once it's saved, I'll just refresh it. Okay, you have already responded. Thank you for submitting your contact info. You can only fill this form once. Try contacting the owner if you think there's a mistake. Okay, edit your response. If I want to edit my response, you remember here we have changed the settings where it says we can edit the responses. Okay, so once we choose the responses and once we edit, if we give the option to edit, they will be able to edit it. Okay, now let me close this. Now let me go back to forms. So as you might remember that I have told you, under responses you'll find all the responses immediately if somebody responds to you. Okay, so here you click on responses. One response. How many people responded? One, because I've already only sent it to one and I've responded myself, right? Who has responded? It will tell you who has responded. Email address. So this email address has responded. What is the name of that person? John Smith. What's the email address? This. What's the address? This. What's the phone number? This. and the comment they gave this. Okay, great. So if I click on view in sheet, it will open this particular form in the sheet. Okay, there you go. Contact information responses. So in the sheet, it has come up at what time and what date they have responded. Okay, what is their name, who respond, what's the email address, what's the address, phone number, the comment, okay, and email address. Okay, so everything is there. All right, so this is how easy it is to go ahead and create a form and send it to people, and then based on this, we'll in future we'll be able to create surveys, lead generation forms, any invitation or any event that you want to share with your friends or families or colleagues. You can do that. Right now, the understanding of Google Forms will also help you in doing survey campaigns. So what are survey campaigns and how to do survey campaigns, we will learn in future classes. Okay, now Google Forms, if you practice nicely, it will give you a fair idea of how responses work, how people respond, when they respond, whether they respond or not, whether do you have to chase after them. All that you will come to know, because sometimes to get a response on a survey, that takes time. Okay, so that's when you will learn patience and perseverance. Right now, the one more important part about Google Forms, and one very interesting part about Google Forms, is it can be integrated in your website or a blog, right, for free of cost. So if you're writing a blog on Blogger, you can include this form link to the blogger. Okay, or if you're developing a website, you can include Google Forms plugin in your WordPress website, and put a form on your website, and people can respond it, and you'll get responses exactly the way that you're getting responses now. Okay, so it becomes very easy for someone to get in touch with you. For example, you have a website and you want a form, and you want people to fill that form, and then you should be getting a response. So how to do that? By using Google Forms. Okay, and this is how we will use Google Forms in the future as well. And we will go one step ahead. Once we're doing WordPress development, we'll come to know other options which are available for us to use instead of Google Forms. Okay, now there are many other form companies who are making forms. One of the famous one is WP Form. Okay, Jot Form. So WP Form and Jot Form also are little advanced than Google Forms. However, Google Form is very good to create your base and have a strong foundation. All right, so what we will do is we will end today. I wish you all the best for creating more forms. Okay, and I want you to go ahead and create as many forms as possible, send it to your friends or colleagues, and see the responses. Okay, and analyze the response. Okay, and view it in the sheet, and then get the practice of understanding how all of this works. All right, so do you have any questions before we wrap up today's session?
No, sir.
Great. All right, so since there are no questions, what we will do is we will end the class here, and we will see you tomorrow at the same time. All right, till then, happy learning.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much for joining in today. Thank you. Bye bye.